The hum of engines fills the silent expanse of a barren, ash-colored world. A human exploratory vessel has landed, its crew of 8 moving purposefully as they set up equipment for resource extraction. The scanners beep rhythmically, and voices murmur over the comms. It's a typical day for Captain Evelyn Carter and her crew, routine, methodical, and uneventful. Carter stands at the control station, her eyes scanning data feeds. Her calm presence keeps the crew grounded. Then, without warning, the sky above the horizon twists with flashes of emerald light. A colossal alien vessel descends, its silhouette cutting an imposing figure against the pale clouds. The Vor have arrived. A crackling transmission pierces the comms. The voice is guttural, dripping with contempt. Humans! You trespass on Vor territory. Surrender your vessel and your lives, or face obliteration. The crew freezes, their faces pale. Even through the translation software, the malice in the alien's tone is unmistakable. A young technician whispers, "We're outmatched, Captain." Carter doesn't flinch. "Maintain positions," she orders, her voice steady. She steps forward and responds. "This is Captain Evelyn Carter of the Terran Mining Consortium. We're here on a peaceful mission." The Vor envoy's laughter booms across the channel, low and derisive. "Peaceful? Primitive insects like you dare to speak of peace? Your kind crawls across the stars with your fragile machines, blind to the forces that govern this galaxy." Carter folds her arms, her expression unreadable. "If we're so insignificant, why waste your time?" The Vor envoy snarls. "Time? No, human. This is amusement. We will make an example of you, as we have countless others." The Vor ship emits a blinding pulse of light. The human ship's systems flicker, then fail. Lights dim, instruments go dead, and the crew stumbles in the sudden silence. The Vor voice resumes. "Feel the weight of your futility. Your ship's systems belong to us now. Your options are obedience or extinction." Carter exchanges glances with her crew. Fear simmers beneath their discipline, but she stands firm, her eyes narrowing. "I don't think you understand humanity as well as you think you do," she says coolly. The envoy scoffs. "Arrogance, even now? You are nothing but flesh and weakness, sustained by luck and ignorance." Carter's lips curl into a faint smile. "Maybe. But the funny thing about humans? We don't take kindly to being threatened." The Vor envoy pauses, perhaps expecting fear or anger. Instead, Carter's calm defiance unsettles him. "Your defiance is meaningless," he snaps, his tone sharper now. "We have crushed species far greater than yours. And yet here we are," Carter replies. Her voice is even, her words deliberate. "Still standing?" The Vor envoy snarls in frustration, cutting the transmission abruptly. In the tense silence that follows, Carter turns to her crew. "Run diagnostics manually. Let's find out what they've done to us." Her second-in-command leans in, voice low. "Captain, do you think we have a chance?" Carter's gaze flickers to the Vor ship looming above. "They think we're weak," she says simply. "That's their first mistake." One of the engineers mutters under his breath. "And their second?" Carter's expression hardens, her voice dropping to a steel edge. "Underestimating what humans do when pushed." The Vor ship sends out a smaller vessel, descending rapidly toward the surface. The crew steels themselves, exchanging nervous glances. Carter remains still, her mind racing. Beneath her composed exterior, a plan begins to take shape. The Vor vessel hovers ominously over the desolate landscape, its shadow stretching over the human crew. From its underside, intricate arrays of weapons and sensors extend, humming with energy. The Vor display their power with precision, targeting the human ship. A low-frequency pulse ripples out, and the ship's hull groans under the weight of an invisible force. Captain Evelyn Carter watches as her vessel's systems are systematically disarmed. The Vor are thorough, disabling everything from propulsion to life support. Her crew scrambles to react, but it's clear the Vor are several steps ahead. The alien voice returns, dripping with disdain. "Observe your place in the natural order. Resistance is futile. Your species exists by the mercy of our indifference. The Vor leader stands on the bridge of their ship, a towering figure clad in a shimmering exosuit. His advisors murmur approvingly, their mandible-like mouths clicking in amusement at the humans' helplessness. The Vor are a species that thrives on dominance, their society structured around conquest and subjugation. They view themselves as the galaxy's apex predators, with technology centuries beyond what humanity could comprehend. To them, this is nothing more than another routine display of superiority. On the ground, Carter remains outwardly calm. Her crew, however, begins to crack under the pressure. "They've got us pinned, Captain," one of them mutters, his voice shaking. Another adds, "We can't fight that. They've already won." Carter silences them with a sharp glance. "Not yet. Keep working." The Vor leader orders a scan of the humans, their ship, and their equipment. His advisors chuckle as the results appear. Primitive. Carbon-based tools. No energy signatures of interest. Barely worth the effort. "Then why bother?" one of them asks. "Let us cleanse this vermin and move on." "No," the leader replies, his tone heavy with condescension. "They must understand their inferiority. A lesson must be taught. The Vor have done this countless times before." Flashbacks flicker through their collective memory. Planets razed, species enslaved, civilizations reduced to little more than historical footnotes. Each victory reaffirmed their belief in their invincibility. The humans, they reason, will be no different. But something about Carter's demeanor gives the Vor leader pause. He observes her through the ship's sensors, noting her lack of panic. She stands unmoving, her gaze sharp and calculating. It irritates him. "Why do you persist in this facade of defiance, human? You know how this ends." Carter responds evenly. "Maybe. But you don't." Her words, though measured, carry an undercurrent of something the Vor can't quite place. Not fear. Something more dangerous. Meanwhile, a human engineer, unnoticed by the Vor, works quietly behind a console. His hands move with purpose as he tinkers with a small makeshift device. The Vor have stripped them of their ship's systems, but they haven't accounted for human improvisation. Carter catches his eye briefly, her expression unreadable, before turning back to the Vor's transmission. On the Vor's ship, the advisors begin debating the humans' fate. "Enslave them," one suggests. "If only for sport. Let them toil until they perish." Another counters. "Wasteful. They'll offer nothing of value. Annihilate them and be done with it." The Vor leader listens with mild disinterest. To him, the decision is inconsequential. Neither option matters. They are beneath us. But their defiance. He trails off, his mandibles clicking in thought. It must be crushed. On the surface, Carter breaks the silence. "You know," she says, her voice calm but pointed. "There's a reason we've survived this long." The Vor envoy snarls. "Survival is not strength. It is chance. And your chance has run out." Carter raises an eyebrow. "You think we survived by chance? By accident?" She takes a step closer to the transmission panel, her voice sharpening. "You've fought others before. You've crushed them, enslaved them, erased them. But you've never fought us." Her words are calculated, each one delivered with precision. They seem to unsettle the Vor leader, though he quickly masks it with a sneer. "And what makes you so different, Captain Carter?" Carter doesn't answer immediately. Instead, she lets the silence stretch, her steady gaze boring into the screen. Finally, she speaks, her tone low and dangerous. "You'll find out soon enough." The Vor leader stiffens, his irritation flaring into anger. "You dare to threaten us? You, who stand powerless beneath our shadow?" "I don't need to threaten you," Carter replies. "You're already afraid. You just don't know it yet." The Vor transmission cuts abruptly, and Carter turns to her crew. "Whatever they're planning, we need to stay ahead of it. Keep working." As the Vor leader prepares his final move, a flicker of doubt crosses his mind. It's a sensation he's not accustomed to, a faint, unwelcome whisper suggesting that perhaps, this time, they might have underestimated their prey. The Vor leader watches from his command chair as the final phase of the operation begins. On the desolate surface below, his ground units move into position to subdue the human crew. To him, this is a foregone conclusion, a trivial exercise in control. He gives the order. Begin. Show them their place. The first strike comes from the Vor's ground units, a precision sweep designed to incapacitate without unnecessary destruction. But as the pulse weapons fire, they encounter unexpected resistance. The humans, previously thought to be helpless, have rigged their mining equipment into improvised countermeasures. Electromagnetic pulses erupt from hidden devices, scrambling the Vor's targeting systems. Chaos spreads through the Vor ranks. Their systems are interfering with ours, a ground commander reports, his voice tinged with confusion. Impossible, the Vor leader snaps. They shouldn't have this capability. The human crew moves with coordination and speed. While some engage in direct countermeasures, others work to retrieve vital equipment from the disabled ship. Every action is deliberate, every motion purposeful. Their ingenuity becomes their weapon, turning the Vor's own precision against them. The Vor leader narrows his eyes. Clever pest, he mutters. Amid the skirmish, Carter remains calm, issuing orders that demonstrate an acute understanding of the Vor's tactics. She anticipates their moves, directing her crew to exploit gaps in their formation. One of the Vor commanders reports, "Their resistance is strategic. They're not panicked." Carter's strategy is not born of desperation but of necessity, forged from humanity's history of surviving insurmountable odds. Brief flashes of memory come to her, tales of Earth's past struggles, natural disasters, global conflicts, and near-extinction events. Each challenge had demanded resilience, adaptability, and the will to endure. The Vor, for all their superiority, lack this depth of experience. They've never had to fight to survive. The Vor's arrogance begins to unravel. Their assumption of total control falters as the humans exploit their overconfidence. Carter speaks into her comms, her voice steady. They rely too much on their tech. They think it makes them untouchable. Let's remind them it doesn't. On the Vor ship, the leader watches the chaos with growing unease. His once smug demeanor gives way to frustration. How are they doing this? Their tools are primitive. Their ship is a wreck. One of his advisors hesitates before responding. They adapt. Faster than anticipated. The Vor leader's mandibles click in irritation. Then crush them before they adapt further. Carter seizes this moment to play a different game. With every decision, she feeds the Vor leader's growing frustration, making small victories seem larger than they are. Her demeanor remains unshaken, and she sends cryptic messages across the comms that seem innocuous, but carry a deliberate edge. The Vor leader begins to sense a pattern but can't decipher it. What is she hiding? He growls. The human's resourcefulness shines in every small victory. They turn mining drones into distractions, jury-rigged plasma cutters into weapons, and use the terrain to their advantage. Each move chips away at the Vor's confidence. The leader, for the first time, begins to feel the sting of unpredictability, a sensation foreign to his race. His control is slipping, and he knows it. In a bold maneuver, Carter's crew disables a Vor ground transport. Using nothing more than salvage components, they overload its energy systems, causing a controlled detonation. The blast sends a shockwave through the Vor ranks, forcing them to retreat temporarily to regroup. For the first time, the Vor leader faces a question he's unprepared to answer: what if we can't predict them? The crew cheers quietly at their small but significant victory. Carter doesn't join in, her focus still sharp. They're pulling back to analyze. They'll come harder next time. She turns to her crew. We need to be ready. The Vor leader, now visibly agitated, watches the battle reports. His advisors are silent, unwilling to state the obvious. Finally, one speaks. They've disrupted our plans. Perhaps we underestimated them. The leader's response is sharp and immediate. Underestimated? No. This is an anomaly, nothing more. But the doubt lingers, a seed planted by Carter's actions and words. For the first time, The Vor realize that humans are not reacting, they are calculating. And in calculation lies intent. The Vor leader, his composure cracking, issues an urgent command to escalate the attack. Bring all systems to full operational capacity. End this charade now, he growls. The Vor forces regroup with overwhelming firepower, their confidence bolstered by their vast technological edge. Yet beneath their arrogance, the faintest shadow of doubt lingers, a crack in their armor. As the Vor prepare for a decisive strike, Captain Carter steps forward, her voice cutting through the static. Before you try that, there's something you should know. Her tone is calm, almost conversational, but it carries an undercurrent that demands attention. Carter activates a device, a small, unassuming piece of equipment that hums with energy. Instantly, Vor systems flicker. Their communications scramble, targeting systems falter, and their shields destabilize. Panic spreads through the Vor ranks. What is happening? A commander shouts. Carter answers, her words sharp and deliberate. You assumed this was our first encounter with your kind. It wasn't. We've been studying you. Learning from every move you've made. You left breadcrumbs in every system you've conquered, and we followed them. The Vor leader slams a fist onto his console. Impossible! Our technology is unmatched. Unmatched, maybe, Carter replies. But not unbreakable. She gestures to her crew, who work in tandem to deploy countermeasures built from scavenged Vor tech. Signals intercepted during earlier Vor attacks had been quietly decoded, allowing the humans to infiltrate their systems. Now Carter and her crew wield that knowledge like a weapon. The Vor's own weapons turn against them. Drone units malfunction mid-air, their trajectories altered by hacked commands. Ground units freeze in place as their power supplies are remotely drained. Carter's team uses the Vor's precision to disable their fleet without unnecessary destruction. Every move is calculated, efficient, and devastatingly effective. Carter's voice rings out again, this time addressing the entire Vor fleet. You thought you were untouchable. But humanity has a talent for breaking the unbreakable. It's what we've always done. She pauses, letting her words sink in before continuing. You see, we're survivors. We've faced extinction-level events, wars that nearly destroyed us, and enemies who thought they could crush us. Every time, we've come out stronger. You're just the next in a long line of conquerors who thought they could write our end. On the Vor flagship, the leader's confidence falters. He senses the shift, the growing realization that this primitive species is unlike anything they've encountered before. Reports flood in, human tactics spreading like wildfire, Vor units collapsing under the weight of their own compromised systems. They've turned our strength into their weapon. An advisor mutters, disbelief thick in his voice. The Vor leader slams his mandibles together. They're nothing but resourceful vermin. Overwhelming force will end this. But Carter's strategy isn't just about brute force. It's about psychology. Every step of her plan is designed to exploit the Vor's greatest weakness, their hubris. They'd underestimated the humans, and now that miscalculation is costing them dearly. The more they push, the more they reveal their hand, Carter says to her crew. We just need to stay one step ahead. On the ground, her team continues to innovate, adapting Vor tech in ways the aliens never considered. Shields are reconfigured to deflect Vor weaponry, communication devices repurposed to create decoys. The Vor's reliance on predictable patterns becomes their undoing as the humans exploit every blind spot. The Vor leader, now visibly shaken, considers an option he never thought he'd need: negotiation. Send a transmission to the humans, he orders. We will offer them terms. The transmission reaches Carter. The Vor leader's tone is clipped, his arrogance tempered but still present. Captain Carter, you've proven unexpectedly capable. Perhaps there is room for discussion. Humanity could serve a purpose under our guidance. Together, we could shape the galaxy. Carter listens in silence, her expression unreadable. When she finally speaks, her voice is resolute. You think we'd trade our freedom for servitude? That we'd kneel after everything we fought for? The Vor leader's composure cracks further. You cannot stand against us forever. Join us or be destroyed. Carter's response is immediate, cutting through his threats like a blade. We'll take our chances. Humanity doesn't bow to tyrants. Her words hit harder than any weapon, solidifying the human's defiance in the Vor leader's mind. The transmission cuts, leaving the Vor leader in silence, his ship surrounded by chaos and uncertainty. For the first time, he begins to understand the true cost of underestimating humanity. The Vor fleet, battered but determined, converges on the human position, prepared to deliver a final blow. Their leader's commands echo through the chaos, each word driven by desperation disguised as authority. Destroy their devices, their defenses, everything. Leave nothing standing. But Carter and her crew are already several steps ahead. Over the course of the battle, they've studied the Vor's tactics and patterns, exploiting every weakness. Now, it's time to spring the trap. Carter issues a final order, her voice steady but charged with anticipation. Initiate the maneuver. Let's finish this. The humans' plan unfolds with precision. They lure the Vor fleet into a narrow canyon, where the terrain limits their mobility and concentrates their forces. Hidden electromagnetic mines, planted during earlier skirmishes, activate in unison, disabling key Vor systems. Their ships falter, their weapons faltering mid-charge as Carter's team capitalizes on the chaos. Focus fire on their command vessel, Carter instructs. Her crew, working with the synchronized efficiency of a well-oiled machine, channels their remaining resources into a coordinated strike. Repurposed Vor tech amplifies the humans' attacks, delivering blows that cripple the once mighty fleet. The Vor leader watches in disbelief as his forces falter. Reports flood in, each one worse than the last. Shields failing on sectors 3 and 4. Weapons offline on the central cruiser. We're losing control of the fleet. The realization sinks in, heavy and undeniable. The humans, whom they had dismissed as insignificant, are winning. On the ground, Carter delivers the final blow to the Vor's ground units. Using a decoy signal to lure them into a dead zone, her team neutralizes the remaining troops with precision strikes. Every move is a testament to human ingenuity and unyielding resolve. Back on the Vor flagship, the leader faces a choice he never anticipated. The invincible empire he represents is crumbling under the weight of its own hubris. Reluctantly, he opens a channel to the humans. Captain Carter, he begins, his voice stripped of its former arrogance. We concede. This battle is yours. Carter doesn't smile. There's no triumph in her expression, only the cold certainty of someone who has fought for survival and won. Surrender your fleet and retreat from this sector, she replies. You have no place here. The Vor leader hesitates, pride warring with the instinct to survive. But he knows the truth. Humanity is no longer a species to be trifled with. Very well, he concedes. We will withdraw. But know this, your defiance will not be forgotten. Carter leans closer to the screen, her gaze sharp and unyielding. Neither will your arrogance. If you or anyone else comes for us again, you won't have the chance to retreat. Her words echo across the galaxy, carried by transmissions intercepted and spread by other civilizations. The message is clear: humanity will not be subjugated. Those who underestimate them do so at their peril. As the Vor fleet limps away, their pride shattered, Carter's crew gathers on the bridge. The atmosphere is a mix of relief and quiet celebration. One crew member finally breaks the silence. We did it, he says, the disbelief in his voice mirrored by the others. Carter nods, her expression softening. We did. But this is just the beginning. They'll regroup. Others will come. We've made our mark, but we'll have to keep proving it. Her words settle over the crew, a sobering reminder of the challenges ahead. But there's also pride in what they've accomplished, in the strength they've shown, and in the legacy they're building. As the crew disperses to begin repairs and regroup for the journey ahead, Carter takes a moment to herself. She looks out at the vast expanse of space, her thoughts racing. This victory is a testament not just to human resilience but to the potential of what they can achieve together. The story closes with a sense of quiet triumph and unshakable resolve. Humanity has claimed its place among the stars, not through conquest or arrogance but through ingenuity, courage, and the unrelenting will to survive. And though the galaxy now knows their name, Carter and her crew understand the truth. Their journey is just beginning.